Alright, I'm going to give Iron Cross a try. All these white dots here, pardon me, all these white dots here are hidden, but obviously since I'm kind of soloing this, that didn't matter. And the Germans are basically attacking from this this line, which is, oh, I'm calling this a river right now. This is just the starting line. Ooh, man, this is back to my old days of shaky videos. I apologize. The river is the starting line, and they have to take these two buildings here, here, and here. The rules are Iron Cross by Great Escape Games. I'll let you know what happens. So the preliminary bombardment gave us a total of 8 morale points of damage against the units. Basically, you roll a d10, and you roll a d10, and then you get if you hit on a 9+, you get a morale hit, which is 1 pip on the die, however you want to mark it. And then infantry roll another die for 1 more, and if they get in this case all the units were in cover of 5 or 6, they get another hit. So these 2 units suffered 2 morale points. Infantry has a total of 5 or 6 morale points, I believe. So it's kind of like Blitzkrieg Commander in that that's a good way to look at it. It's just like their morale's degrading. So that's that. On to turn 1. Into turn 1, my first game of Iron Cross from Great Escape Games. Let's see what we got going on here. Basically, the Germans are moving forward, so they made it to about right here. They're only moving 6 centimeters a turn, so it's not very far. The Americans pretty much stayed hidden, unless their whites all here. And let's go down here and see what we got. Try to keep this a little bit more steady for you. This tank here had a gun duel with a couple of PaK-40s down there. You'll see that there are no PaK-40s available anymore down here. So what happened is this PaK-40 unlimbered here, and then they shot across the table to each other, inflicting damage here and there, and I just realized I made a mistake on one of my rolls. But he eventually took out the PaK-40. The other PaK-40 foolishly went up here, up on a hill, and he revealed himself, fired because he's on the hill. You could see over the wheat, and hit him over here. What else do I want to talk about? Group move is tough. I don't know. So group move, you can only do normal move, and you can't move or react any time throughout the thing. So it's very coordinated. You can't do much of anything. So there's that. This tank's kind of lone wolfing it up here. He can't see any of these. These are all hidden. So if I was playing against somebody, these would just be white boxes. And the cool thing about hidden is you can move them as far as they're white boxes. They only see each other when he gets within 12 or he fires. I mean, I'm sorry, within 4 inches. In my case, 4 centimeters. That's like right there. It's crazy talk. So let's explain real quick what these pennies are for. The pennies are for the command tokens. So I have, the U.S. has 10 base 10 base command points because there's 10 units. Whether, yeah, plus, I'm not doing the math right, but anyway, you get 1 for each unit, not including transports, and you get another 2 command tokens for each command unit. The U.S. has 1 command unit, so that's a total. For some reason, something's not sounding right here. It's like 11 or something. And then plus, I think I might have miscounted. I'll have to go look. Plus, in the defense, they get to roll a d6, and if they get, I'll have to look at the number, but they can get up to 2 possible additional command tokens. They had 1 more this turn. So what happens is a command token. If I'm the active player, I place a command token on here, and he gets to do. He can move. You can move fast, or he can move and shoot, or shoot and move. Okay, so I can do that. These people, both, it goes both ways. These people can react. So at one point, the PaK-40 reacted, so he paid a token and then had to roll a 3+ to hit. I'm sorry, I rolled a 3+ to activate. So then he was able to interrupt and fire at him. It didn't do anything. And then once he'd done that, he got to react or finish finish what he was started, which was firing. He wasn't going to move. Now, I used a command token on here to reduce, because I had a command token, 2 command tokens on it, I wanted to reduce that. So I put a command on it so it was -1. So I did not explain that at all well. So let's start over. So if he was here and I wanted to command him a second time and he just had the 1 command token in the same turn, I'd have to roll, and now I have to roll. So now I'd have to roll a 2+. Once I put that on there, now I have to roll 3+ because there's 2 command tokens on there. If I use a command, if I give him a command order, I can reduce that by 1. So in this case, I put that on there, and then I only had to roll 2+. Well, then you can only do that once per turn. So then I put another command and another command. What I forgot to count on him is when you have a morale counter. So really, right now with 4 tokens and a morale counter, I'd have to roll, that's 5, I'd have to roll 6+ to do anything with this guy. So if you have morale hits on you or attrition, you're harder to command, and if you've already taken orders, you're harder to command because you've already done stuff, you've already been busy. I hope that makes sense. That was quick. So basically the Germans are going to keep going here. The Germans, so losing those 2 guns, the Germans lost 8 battle points, or 8 break points. They can only lose 33 break points before they're out of the game. So basically they're pulling their troops up here. They're going to go after here. Now they know there's white spots here, so you can assume there's, I don't know what I'd assume. There's something going on here, and I just saw that move the white over here, so I'd assume it's some sort of anti-tank thing to take on the tank. I think as a German, though, I'm not going to do anything here. I probably will actually move him up to here, and then they can exchange fire. And then I might be within 4. All right, this has been long. This has been 5 minutes, and plus I have the other stuff to go. Here's the dead pile. These troops move on later. I need to add them back into the breakpoint. So on turn 2, actually, I get to bring him back on. Yeah, turn 2, I get reinforcements. Oh, holy cow. That's a lot. Yeah, I think the Americans are going to win this. I didn't realize they got this many. I may only give them the tanks and not the troops. All right. See you later.